Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand all the latest cues from the D-Street, starting from the benchmark index moves to the sectoral action, the stocks that are buzzing the most in trade, and also what should be your strategy on all of those movers and shakers. With me joining in will be an expert, but first up, a quick check on how the markets are doing at this point in time. Well, taking the rally further from yesterday, we are seeing that the markets are inching higher. The Sensex did briefly top 62,000 right now, hovering 222 points higher, about 0.4% up in trade. Even the Nifty, when we talk about it, it's up by 65 odd points at 18,328. So the momentum looks steadily on the upward side. When we talk about the top gainers today, a whole host of stocks from Asian Paints to Divis Laboratories, IndusInd Bank that continues its upward run, 1.5 to 2% up in trade. Bajaj Twins also up in trade again today. Coal India is back in action. Adani Enterprise seems to have recovered from yesterday's lows as well. It's back up into the top gainers list. M&M, Axis Bank, Adani Ports, some of the other movers at this point in time. In terms of the losers, however, you will see the pressure points continuing for UPL post the earnings, about 2.3% downtick. ITC seeing some profits being taken off the table. Grasim down by 0.8% as well. Some of the other stocks that are still trading down are SBI, JSW Steel, Sun Pharma that continues to drag the street despite this overall upward momentum in the markets as well. Hindalco, Eicher Motors, Apollo Hospitals are some of the other laggards at this point in time. Now, when we talk about the sectors as well, today we are seeing that the Nifty Bank is on a stronger footing, about 0.5% higher, with the financial services also up in trade, the private banks really contributing, but it's the PSU banks that are actually not participating today. It's down by about almost 1%. So the PSU banks are the big laggards today. Apart from this, FMCG is sulking, about 0.2% down in trade. Realty stocks slightly down in trade, but the rest of the market is still up in trade as well. But time now to welcome our guest on the show. Kranti Batini joins in from Wealthman Securities, Director Research of Equities. Welcome, Mr. Batini, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Overall, your own thoughts on how the markets are looking. We have been seeing that they are trending upwards. There was a sharp bounce from that one day's dip that we had seen, about 700 points fall, but the markets were quick to recover and the bulls seem to have gained control again. What is your overall sense on how the markets may move forward from here?
Just to summarize, Sakshi, this is a market where one need to buy on dips and sell on rally. And this market is very choppy, and also markets are trending in a range bound right now. What we can pursue is for Nifty 18,500 is the level one need to be watchful. And also on the downside, 18,000 is the crucial support zone for the market. So market is going to be next few weeks going to be in a trending between this 500 Nifty range. If market try to break the 18,500 level, then the momentum can sustain further going ahead. Right now, we are in the middle of the earnings season. Decent earnings we are getting from the companies which are declaring results in last few days, and also there are no earning surprises also on the upside. So overall, it's a moderate earnings season, and global cues also quite supportive. One thing we need to see is the entire the positivity or the sustainability of the market rally is purely coming from because the FIS turns net buyers right now. They have been selectively buying in Indian markets. That's where the positivity is coming at this point of time. Overall, we need to wait for the levels, and it's going to be more about a stock specific action rather than indices movement going further. But Nifty is going to be in this range going ahead.
Got that. Let's start off with the new entrant into the stock markets today, Mankind Pharma, one of the most anticipated IPOs that we saw. The IPO got about 15 times subscription, and the listing has been even stronger. It's been a strong debut. We've seen a 20% premium listing, and the stock continued to move higher. I mean, if we talk about the kind of reports that were coming ahead of the listing, there were targets of 1400 given by Macquarie, but that also got achieved right on day one. We did see some profits being taken off the table right after those levels were hit. But even now, if we speak, 27.5% uptick for this one, 1377 for Mankind Pharma. Your own sense of the kind of listing that we have seen, and post the listing, what would you tell the investors who got the IPO allotment?
Actually, first of all, it's a decent listing with a 25% gain for the investors on the listing day itself. But the retail investor interest is very subdued with respect to Mankind IPO is concerned. But there is a humongous uh, attention drawn by uh, by the anchor investors for Mankind Pharma, and it received a very good response from the institutional investors in the form of anchor investors. So overall, right now, if a retail investor got a allotment for this uh, on a day one in these kind of markets, 15 to 20% gains are very decent gains. They can book some profit from the table on the listing day itself and wait for the results and how the company is going to be uh, pan out their course of action in the coming next few quarters. If a person who want to enter into the stock right now, I just would like to educate the investor, just sit on sidelines, wait for the time, let the issue get cool off for some more weeks at a right price. One can enter. I'm sure in next few weeks, okay, you can get a decent price, and it gives a very good entry level for the investor if they want to buy the stock in a medium to long term basis.
Okay, understood that. Let's also focus on some of the other stocks that are actually moving in trade today. Let's talk about MGL, for example. After robust Q4 earnings, the stock shot up almost 8-9% in trade today. From the oil and gas space, how do you view MGL, the earnings that have come about? What do you make sense of the earnings, and what does it really augur, for the stock going forward from here?
Yeah, the stock was doing extremely good in last couple of months, Sakshi, and it is supported by the results of last quarter results, which are quite robust. So investors definitely can hold on to the stock. There is some more steam is left in this stock. Investor can hold on to uh, uh, the stock.
Okay, MGL as well. Tata Motors from the auto space, another stock that's springing up on the screen right now. The stock hit 52-week high. It has been on an upward trend from the auto basket. How does Tata Motors look to you? It's again up by 1.3% today at 507.
Sakshi, there is a rally that's coming in all the auto stocks in last few weeks, and Tata Motors is not participated in this rally earlier. So at the current moment, Tata Motors is in a better shape. The domestic numbers are extremely good, and China right now the opening of the trade, the opening of the economy, that going to create further extra benefit for Tata Motors going ahead. So investors with a medium to long term definitely hold on to Tata Motors at this point of time. In fact, any dip the market gives going ahead in Tata Motors, definitely one can accumulate this stock in a staggered manner.
Got that. You did talk about earnings. We are also approaching the fag end of the earnings now. What really stood out for you in these earnings? We did see that the banks reported steady numbers. Technology was definitely mixed. Automobile also mixed earnings. Especially when we talk about automobile, you talked about Tata Motors, but Maruti was an eyesore this time around. FMCG mostly were flat. Dabur stuck out as a sore thumb again. Reliance outperformed for sure. What do you make of these kind of earnings that have come about, and what do they talk about? How should investors be really perceiving these companies? Because it's not just about the performance and how do they approach. It's also about what has already been priced in.
Yeah, to summarize, Sakshi, it's a mixed earnings season, but the financial services and banking stocks are stellar performance in this earnings season.
Hmm.
But what it gives the sense is the underlying strength in the economy is quite strong at this point of time, and the stocks, the stocks in the capital goods space also, engineering space, infrastructure space also, they're doing decent numbers, and capital goods space also they delivered very good numbers in this quarter. So overall, it is a mixed quarter what we can pursue, but the underlying strength in the economy is quite strong. The macro story is quite robust at this point of time. That's where uh, we could able to rebound the market, and Nifty standing back at 18,300 levels at this point of time. So the underlying strength is quite strong, and going ahead, the coming quarter results also would be decent quarter results because the PMI index, both the service as well as manufacturer PMI numbers also gives a decent story going ahead.
Got that. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Batini, for being with us on the show and discussing all these stocks and sectors and how should one approach all of these. And amidst these kind of a bump up in the markets, how should investors strategize their moves in this current wave of another uptick that we are looking at into the markets as well. Well, look at the markets, 227 uptick for the Sensex right now, 61,992. The Nifty also up by 62 odd points. So the markets seem to be on a steady footing. What will the second half really bring in? The last 2.5 hours of trade, will we see further rise from here, or will profit booking take place or not? We'll keep an eye out on all of that. So you should also be with us to track all the market momentum. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also continue to engage with us on our other social media platforms as well. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra. Well, are you someone who have yours or your family members unclaimed shares and dividends lying in an investor education and protection fund or the IEPF account?